What's up everyone, Luigi here, and this is a Garmin Venu 2. Let's get right into it. I've had this watch for about 4 months now, and this is also my very first smartwatch. I wanted to really test it and really to see the full potential of this watch, just to see what it really can do, and just to see kind of like what a smartwatch like the Garmin Venu 2 can do, and if it can make your life easier. Let's start with the price and the specs of this watch. It retails for £349, $399. It has a Gorilla Glass display and it has a water rating of 5 atm, which means can withstand pressures of up to 50 meters in depth. And it's a 45mm watch with a 33mm AMOLED display with very thin black bezels. Stainless steel all around the edge of the watch face, which adds style and is a very minimal look. The overall build of this watch is actually really good. It's one of those, it's not a very heavy or very chunky watch, even though it's a 45mm watch, but the dark grey color as well as the stainless steel bands around the watch face make it look really minimal, and you actually make it look like it's not a smartwatch if you look at it, if you're looking at it from a distance, which is nice because sometimes you don't want to be standing out, or you want to have, especially for me, I do like watches, but I do like the tech as well. Now, a watch that didn't look too far from an actual watch and actually look like a proper watch but still had the smartwatch's features. I hope that makes sense. Its battery life, it's really good. It's one of those watches that you don't have to charge every night or every other day. I charge mine about once a week. So it's advertised to last up to 11 days on a smartwatch mode, which is just basically notifications, tracking your steps on a day-to-day basis, and just doing all the very simple tracking that a smartwatch can do. It can last up to 8 hours with GPS mode on and music on, or it can last up to 22 hours with just the GPS on with no music. You can definitely make this watch last a full week with no problem whatsoever. That's what I've been doing. I usually track every single workout that I do, which is about 4 times a week. So I was tracking kind of like my heart rate, tracking my reps and sets, which we're going to get into that a little bit more, and pretty much listening to music and just tracking my everyday day-to-day activities, like maybe running, walking, and commuting from and to work, and just basically kind of like using my watch as much as possible, having notifications coming to my watch from my phone. And it's definitely one of those that every time I get to the following Friday, it has probably about 20%. Apart from the great build of the watch, you also have all the features that come in Garmin watches, like tracking a dozen of activities like running, walking, golf, rowing, and even strength workouts. The watch will show you your heart rate, duration of the activity, and distance if your activity covers distance. Or it shows your number of sets and count your reps if you're tracking a strength training workout, which is very useful if you're like me that forgets what sets they're on. Just like any other smartwatch, now it pretty much tracks all your day-to-day activities as well, like your steps, your heart rate, your stress, at sleep as well if you wear it at night, and it gives you a very in-depth information about all of these activities as well, and it kind of like adjusts your goals based on what you've done on average. My step goals always change within my watch, so it has a feature that within the app you can put it that based on the amount of steps that you took the week before, it averages them out, and then it gives you a goal for the following week to then keep hitting the same amount of steps. So let's say if you hit a lot of steps last week, then the following week is going to ask you for the same amount of steps, or kind of like a higher average for your day-to-day activities. Obviously, this is something that you can completely take away from it and just have your step goals to be 10,000 steps every day without having to change every day. I do like it. Gives me a bit of a different motivation to make sure I getting my steps, and every day is just slightly different, which makes it exciting, to be fair. I like it. So, and if you want to see more in-depth information about your day or activities tracked, then you can go into the app to get more insight into your day and make adjustments to optimize your health and fitness. The app is probably really useful to those doing a lot of endurance training, where you can see where your heart rate changes, where you are slow or fast, so you can make the right adjustments for your next sessions. And in the apps, you can also see that when you do a strength workout, the watch does know which muscles you're working and then track what muscles you've worked through the week. And I have found that the watch is pretty accurate knowing what muscles you've worked. So I've really only had one issue with this watch while doing the testing. So when I had it, I was using my Google Pixel 5, and connectivity at first was really good. It connected pretty fast. It's a pretty much a very straightforward setup, just having to create an account within the Garmin Connect app. But then after about 2 weeks, for some reason, my connectivity started to fall. So I wasn't getting notifications in right away. I wasn't getting messages in right away, or I wasn't getting them at all sometimes. But last month, when I changed to my iPhone 14 Pro, so my brand new phone, and connected to my watch, I started to, same again for the first couple of weeks, it was really fast, really easy to connect as well. And I was getting all the notifications in through the phone straight to the watch. And I was wondering if it was going to fall off. So far, I've had my brand new phone now for about 4 weeks, and it's still really fast. I'm still getting every single notification through. I don't have any problems with connectivity anymore. So I wasn't sure whether it's because my phone was old and it wasn't being updated, or maybe it was some issue with the Bluetooth connectivity between my Garmin watch and my Google Pixel. But so as far as it is now, between my Garmin watch and my iPhone, it's really good, to be fair. I haven't had a single problem, and I can't complain really about it anymore. So, and like I previously mentioned, especially with the tracking of your activities, like I say, you can go into any activity, track it, and you'll be able to see it within the app. But one really good feature that I do found really useful for me is the tracking of strength workouts, just because that's kind of like what I do most of the time when I'm training. I do a lot of strength workouts, which either requires me squatting, benching, deadlifting, doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, and all those type of movements that require you to build strength, obviously. So that's something that I believe it hasn't been on most smartwatch in the past, or at least in most Garmin smartwatches in the past. So this one, when you start a strength workout, you can use, like I previously mentioned, you can use the buttons to either change your sets, to either start a rest or start a following set, and the watch will count your sets as well. So every time you press it, it'll set set 1 or start of set 1, and then once you press it again, it will start your rest. You can count your rest, so it will time your rest as well, and it will time the duration of your full workout. I usually have it the whole way, so then by the end of the session, I'm like doing like set 20, but it's mostly like set 4 of my last 2 movements or something like that. And also when you go into the app, you can see what muscles you've worked, and I found this to be quite accurate to the sessions that I've done. So every time I'm doing legs, the watch does show kind of like a little figurine. You'll see it now on video, of the muscles that I've worked. And the other good thing as well to track how like your workouts, your reps and all that stuff, every time you end a set, it will show you the amount of reps the watch counted. This sometimes can be a bit of a hit or miss. Sometimes it counts them right, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on what movements you do. It's a little bit more accurate with some others than some of the movements. But again, you can go into there, so every time you press it, you can adjust the reps that you did based on what the watch counted and what you actually did, and you can also input the weights that you just, which makes it great. So if you're trying to track kind of like what weights you've used, so then next time you either go heavier or lighter, you can go into the app and have a look into this, which again, if you're using it for strength workouts like myself, is really useful. Obviously, you still get all the amazing features that you get for tracking with running workouts, rowing, and obviously just the amount of different activities Garmin is known for tracking, which is pretty much almost every single activity exists. I'm still yet to try it with tennis. I've used it for golf, which is actually quite useful to get kind of like yardage and just to kind of keep track of your scorecard without having to write it down into your actual physical scorecard, which I found it useful. So overall, this watch, it has been really good as my first smartwatch. It's really good because I didn't want to buy a Apple Watch or any other watch that will only last me for a day, especially if you're not stuck into any ecosystems like the Apple ecosystem or the Android ecosystem. This is a great watch. It works really well with Android and iOS with no problem whatsoever. It's the same setup through the Garmin Connect app, which is actually quite good. And like I said, you can find pretty much every single insight you need to optimize your health and fitness through the app. You can probably find this watch a lot cheaper now because it's been out for quite a few months, I believe maybe over a year now. So you can definitely find it for less than what the retail price was, which is $349 or $399 in dollars. But that's all for me today, guys. I hope you enjoy another tech video. I promise you I'll be coming back with more tech videos and more tech reviews, so stay tuned for that. See you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye.